सर आज पाटा के कॉन्फ्रेंस में टूरिज्म सेक्रेटरी आए. What has been the net gain and where Pata can promote the members of its association?
So the biggest gain is stating clearly what is and what can be. The government is taking certain steps. It was a big announcement to say we are going to close our offices from 31st of March. But what happens? How will we deal with it? Who will help? Who is the go-to person? So those questions came up from the audience very clearly. And I think the ministry has a very clear idea of how things are going to work going forward.
The concern has been raised by the delegates today as a very specific question was how to reach the embassies when the whole new development that is coming up, the new board that is being reworked out by the government of India, how the embassies will be approached so that to felicitate and facilitate both ways.
Yeah. So I think the Secretary's response was very clear. He said that the board will link up tour operators from India with the concerned people at various embassies, who in turn will help to link up with local agencies who are present in those markets as marketing agencies and or also people who are interested in operating tours to India. So the linkage is very clear. The board will be the first point of contact and the embassy and the representative over there will be the second point.
With the board getting the revenue funds infused into it, that could be a good aspect to manage the activity, day-to-day activity, and also the promotion, which is what your members are looking for.
Quality in business both costs money, so it's the right thing to do.
And well, now that we are just come out of the COVID, almost 6, 7, 8 months now, and hopefully things will be fine. Where do you see your estimation post November 23 when G20 ends, and how will that pan into next 3 years where the tourism momentum that is built inside and outside could be managed and leveraged?
You ask an interesting but difficult question. 3 years ago, we never expected COVID to take its toll the way it did. God willing, there will be no more COVID as we go forward. But having said that, I think, as the Secretary also said, India is ahead of the average market rate at more than 65% forward bookings. So we have a bright future. We need to seize the opportunity. We need to be more aggressive in the markets. People who are tour operators and travel agents, they need to go out and promote, attend relevant tour fairs or marts, etc., and bring the customer, the tour operator from the other end, closer to India.
China has a good imprint in India, where inbound tourism from China is always a significant number. And did that issue of fluctuating currency, dollar, is also a concern for the tour operators because you book a lot in advance, and how will that be managed, or the government will support the industry?
The question is, will China rejig its tourism policy? Right, because at the end of the day, there are more tourists going to China than coming out of China, particularly for a market like India. So it all depends on how China plays its cards as they reopen, when they reopen. Right now, they don't seem to be reopening.
And with reference to my second part of the question about the dollar and to India rupee, it's not a very stable, and that is a concern in the pockets of all the tour operator because they book the team or the tour a lot in advance, and there is always a fear of losing out.
That's a tough one for the tour operator. It always has been, and they are well versed with how to manage that because dollar fluctuation has been happening ever since I was a little boy.
Okay, so you are happy that the industry will be able to be in a position to take factor in and then move up the ladder.
It will hurt now and then, but we know how to manage it.
Thank you, sir, for